So today I'm going to be working on sound design, trying to find inspiration just in getting new sounds, or at least even understanding some of the tools that I have available to me, whether it's the hardware stuff. I think I'm going to just work on this time just within Ableton software, synth stuff, and experiment. But I heard that the best way to tackle days where you're uninspired is to work on sound design. I think I heard that from Fred again. So that way you can be prepared for when inspiration does strike. You have a bunch of unique sounds that you already like to just use and are available. So I think it'll be a mixture of using Ableton stock material, because I'm really curious about using what's available in Ableton. Yeah, so put an hour on the clock. Another thing that I found super just healthy is to put a time limit. That way I have to make decisions and just keep moving. And even if I only get like, last time I did loops, just like 2 loops done or whatever, at least, it zeroes in my focus and concentration. So, yeah. So, got an hour on the clock. Let's start it right now. And let's get into this. All right. So, the first thing I want to kind of try out is just, there's a number of things just on my mind, I like using simpler and creating my own synths from like recorded sounds, and then just like kind of messing them up and doing all sorts of stuff. But I want to get into, start off with a pad, try and make a interesting pad. So to start off, I like to just get some inspiration. I can't talk today. I like to see what stock sounds there are and what kinds of things the stock stuff uses. So this looks like one of the synth instruments. The edge, okay. Compressor, utility. Oh, well, let me bump it up. And interesting. Okay. Cool. All right. I've never used this before at all. I've used analog. I have used operator for sure, and then simpler, but and not even extensively. I use a lot of third-party plugins, but wanted to work on in-stock stuff today. So let's see what I can come up with, and then just add some other stuff. Again, what I like about going into some of the other presets or what stock sounds that they have available is it gives you a sense of how people are using it, and then just kind of gives you a kind of a loose roadmap to go from. When I'm looking through and trying to figure out how things work on, especially on synthesizers, a lot of them tend to be the same. I mean, you have oscillators, shapes, whatever, but I like to still turn the knobs like extreme, and then if there's any visual component like on here, I like to just pay attention to see like what's going on, and then of course listening. But I do the extreme so I can really get a sense of what is actually happening, and that goes along with like, say, EQs and reverbs and delays, like any kind of effect. I might know what to expect from a few of the knobs, but it's always good to kind of clarify what actually is happening by turning those knobs like real extreme and then dialing it back, So it's, instead of like inching it to where you might want, to get the sweet spot, it's like, nope, let me drive that sucker and then pull it back to it, because it's I think it's easier to find that sweet spot by pulling back rather than inching toward. Until I think you are more familiar with the device and the sound that you're going for, then it's like, oh, I know, like at 5 or 6, like that's where it kind of like really punches, or whatnot. I'm thinking EQs and that I've used before. So yeah, I've told other people this, students or whatnot, when you're learning something new, just go to the extreme, especially with gear, like know where it's going, and then, get comfortable as to where, like, or find it where you actually want it to sit, but know like how it's transforming the sound first. So all right, so it's been about 25 minutes already. I've been trying to work with drifts or whatnot, but I'm stuck on trying to, number one, figure out how to utilize it. I just need to maybe read up about it before I like experiment. Although I'm learning a lot, like, of the logic of synthesizers, it's essentially the same, but a lot of the things are connected in different ways, and it's figuring out that, as well as like, okay, what makes this synth different. And it's right now it's only like small things, and honestly, as of right now for this session, feels like a kind of a waste of time to kind of dive too deep into this. So I'm gonna move on and just kind of experiment with some other stuff. I don't know what exactly, but I think I'm gonna record some sounds and work on messing with simpler, because I know I can get stuff out of that, some interesting stuff out of that, and go from there. So let's see. Shoot, I'm just gonna record my just like a sound of some sort. So for simpler, I'm gonna just record anything with a tone, but not like super typical, I guess. I'm gonna record my voice. I have not made a synth out of it, so let's see what I can do with that. La 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 la. Ooh, ee. I'll do different vowels. Let's see. Ooh. Damn. That is kind of hard. So, somewhere. All right. Just consolidate that, and that. Okay, so I'm just gonna drop it into simpler. See what this sounds like. Also, make sure what note this is. So what I'm doing here is just, instead of getting the attack perfectly here, I don't want that. I want to just kind of like the strongest part, at least to start off with, and then I'm gonna just move the attack so it comes in a little smoother. already sounds pretty cool right out the gate. Different. That's what I love about Simpler. It's Simpler, I feel like, is that tool that you can make any sound. Really, you can make any sound into a synthesizer, or and make it into like a pad, or keyboard of some sort, or an ambient sound. It's really nice. And then of course, like slicing it into making different samples, chops, whatnot. But right now I want to make it into a synth of some sort that I can use. And I want this C to be, actually it's C, so warp. This is gonna be like 30. No, so let's do. Now my natural affinity would be to have this like purely straight, whatnot, but I'm going to keep the shakiness because that's my voice, at least right now. Well, all the time. But that shakiness, it's kind of a natural vibrato. Yeah, not really. It's just not strong. But regardless, that's what I have to use. So I'm going to. Kind of already sounds like a Mellotron. Right now I'm just really messing around with different types of things to see like what kind of textures I can get out of this. Again, doing things to the extreme. Sounds more bowed string like. So that's Complex Pro with more of an attack, but beats. Actually, on the higher end, it sounds like kind of a Mellotron strings batch. Okay, so take out the tuner. Let's look for audio effects. Driving color. Let's add some saturation. See what this will do. What we can get out of that. Reverb, yes. Remember, this is just so far. So from this to that, that's awesome. Okay, so saturator. I want to add saturation to give it just some more body. It does that. want something. I'm gonna use, I don't have a lot of time left on this, but I'm gonna use the ooh and the e syllables and then try different effects. See what happens. Wow, you can immediately make synths like just using two things. Just the sound of your voice, drop it into Simpler, make sure it's warped, go to Complex Pro, and then, man, just add one thing and listen to that. That's crazy. Okay, so a little bit of noise in there, it's really nice. So I have that. Let's do a little more with ease. Make something plucky out of this. So to get the pluckiness, doing beats, making it warping, doing the beats algorithm, transients, this mode, and then just dropping the envelope down. The lower it is, the shorter the or the pluckier the sound. That'd be good for some electronic stuff. Not what I'm looking for, but good to know. Okay, that's cool. That's good to know for some effects. I think it's something like a dubsteppy or R2D2-ish. This is good for sound effects, just maybe for sound project. So the other two I was looking for like pads, and for the last one, I got a couple minutes left. I wanted something not airy and patty. It's like, all right, cool. E. Also, the E sound is a little too narrow for it to be a pad. It's very sharp in the sense of not sharp as in like pitch wise, but narrow and sharp. And has like a lot of like it's very focused and not spread out. Whereas ooh and ah have more of that kind of expansive sound to it. And yeah, so I'm like, well, I don't want something. I could use it for maybe if I wanted a single note synthesizer, like something that really cuts through. But I wanted to do something that was opposite and something short, sharp. So, for example, if I were to put in just a drum thing. So what I also like to do is combine sounds with other plugins. So I got these three. For example, I'm going to use the short attack sound, synth sound that I made, and put that with a piano just to see what it sounds like. So I'm just going to get a MIDI piano, copy and paste the MIDI, so I have a dual sound. I've done that a lot in some previous tracks, and it gives like a new texture. It's not just like, oh cool, like I'll have a piano part. I'll have like piano part with this synth and then just like mix it, like the volume or the effects in a way so they blend as much as possible. Or it's just like two instruments playing the same part. And then that is the texture that I'm looking for. It really is a great way to give you more options. And that was really a hard thing for me initially when I started producing, 7 years ago now, was I was coming from a live band aspect, being like, oh, it's got to be one instrument doing one part and maybe some orchestration, like, oh, combine two parts. But with the studio, like you can put 3, 4, 5 sounds together and it makes this like brand new sound. So once I got over that mental hump, it really opened up a lot of textures for me. So let me copy this and then listen to. I'd probably use maybe a different sound than that. The hour's been done. I thought I'd get a lot more, I hope I get a lot more done within an hour. But an hour, especially when you are exploring, is not a lot of time. But again, the time constraint really, I got 3 different synths. I'm going to save all of them. I don't know exactly where I'm going to put them, but now what the sound design kind of exploration has done, as grueling as this felt for me, what this has done is it really focused me in on, okay, let me just develop sounds, look for things that might be helpful for future projects, and each one of these sounds, I know I can use them, but it's more of like, okay, now I got to sit down in that mode and be like, okay, what kind of song would I use this texture on? Or if I'm just like writing, I'll do something and be like, oh cool, like I think I have a texture that, I've already created myself. Let me pull that out. So, and again, so the simpler stuff came out really well. So anyways, if you take anything from this video, I know what I'm going to take away from this video is, or making this video is, Simpler is really cool tool. You can make any type of synth out of it. There's a lot of stuff stock-wise on Ableton and really on most DAWs. Like people get paid to make these stock sounds, whether it's in-house or I think they might, hit up different producers outside of, Ableton or like whatever DAW you're using to help them give their users something to utilize right out the gate without having to invest in a bunch of plugins, third-party plugins, because they can get really expensive, and there's a lot that you can do within, the box, in the box. So, I'm going to try doing another sound design video with other sounds to see like what else I can get within Simpler, and then utilizing other stock things. And then I'm going to do other stuff with my other plugins as well, of course, and then just share the process. So, if you're into that, I'm going to be making that and more sound design and more loop type content, and then like song creation, whatnot. Just subscribe, like, and then I'm going to be making maybe I'll be able to, once I figure out how to package these things, I'll share them with everybody, sample pack form, or just, some resources that you guys can use. So yeah, come along for the journey, learn through my process, but definitely try it yourself. That's when you're going to really discover your own sound, but also just understand the tools at your disposal. So I have a lot of tools in this place, but the acoustic ones I know very well, but the synthesizers and all that stuff, there's a lot to explore. And then combining those, like, it's infinite. There's and that's almost too much to kind of like get through my head and just not be intimidated by all the possibilities. But that's why I'm doing these videos. So yeah, follow along, and I'll see you guys next time. Be doing one of these a week, and we'll go from there. All right. Hope you guys have a good one. See ya.